Meeple Talk! Hello everyone, I am Stephanie.
And I'm Adam.
And welcome to Meeple Talk. So this is another one in this series that we're doing focusing just on expansions. So one of our earlier videos focused on King of Tokyo. So one of the expansions that we're going to show today is called Power Up. So it actually labeled as Expansion 1, so hopefully that means they're going to have more in the future here. So that's the first one.
They may already have more. And the other one is not officially an expansion, it's a collector pack one. Ooh. So this is King of Tokyo Halloween. Oh. So if you're watching this during Halloween, awesome. If you're not, well, you might still want to play a Halloween game. Who knows?
So what you may recall from the previous King of Tokyo game is that it's pretty much a dice rolling monster battling it out kind of game where you damage each other.
You have to do that while you're reviewing it.
Exactly. Can't get away from it. I know. But one of the ways that it does differ in the Power Up version is that you get an extra character. He's called Bandakai. And so he's an extra character to add to the set. Also, what are these cards? Well, these also come with the expansion, and they're called evolution cards. So one of the things that happens in this expansion, normally when you're rolling for hearts, that's your opportunity to heal if you ever suffer any damage. Whoever actually happens to be in Tokyo City or Tokyo Bay doesn't actually get the benefit of healing, so the hearts are completely useless. But the nice combination, or I guess the nice thing about this particular edition is that anytime, no matter if you're in the city or in the bay, or if you're outside, anytime you roll 3 hearts or more, you actually get an evolution. And some of them are temporary ones, and some of them are permanent. So I'll give you an example of a couple. So this is a temporary one. This is specifically Gilgazor. So each one of these sets of evolution cards are unique to that particular character. So for Gigazor, one of the temporary evolutions that you have is called Primal Bellow. And it says, discard this evolution to make all other monsters lose 2 victory points. That's really powerful, especially if it's nearing the end of the game. This one for Mecha Dragon, this is a permanent evolution, and it's called Claws of Steel. So the way this one works is it says, deal 1 extra damage on a turn in which you dealt 3 or more damage. So it enhances your damage-making capability. So these are just an example or a sampling of types of evolutions that you can have. So anytime you roll 3 dice or multiples of 3, because if you happen to roll all 6 hearts, you get to have 2 evolutions. So it's a nice way to enhance your particular monster's power, unique to you, in addition to the normal types of enhancement cards that you would normally buy in the traditional game. So that's pretty much this particular one.
Yes, and our second in our double shot of King of Tokyo expansions is King of Tokyo Halloween. And for this game, you get 2 extra characters. You get Pumpkin Jack and you get Boogie Woogie. And obviously, the Halloween theme cannot be avoided. Here's Pumpkin Jack, throwing fireballs. And Boogie Woogie just looks, slimy and oily, so not sure what genre he's from, but anyway. So you get these 2. Probably. It goes back there after you're finished.
Exactly.
So what's interesting about this expansion is that it includes the 2 evolutions for that expansion. So if you get this one and then later you get that one, you already have the set of evolution cards for these 2 characters. And you also get 12 costume cards. So the idea
what are those?
They're cool. So the idea of costume cards is that these cards are mixed in with this deck. So you're competing for these cards just like you are for the rest of these power-up cards. And just to give you an example, for example, this witch, if a monster's dice results contain any claws that target you, you may roll 1 die. And these costumes are things that, when you get them, you put them next to your character, and you can use those abilities, just like these cards. But another thing that's really interesting is you can also steal them. If you roll at least 3 claws, at the end of your turn, if you have 3 claws, you can pay the amount of energons that it costs to buy the card, and that's and then you can steal it from somebody else. You can give them those energons and take their costume. You can have any number of costumes that you're wearing at one time, and so the costumes are really neat.
I was going to say, it has to be the person you're normally attacking. So if you're outside of the city and you're attacking into either Tokyo City or Tokyo Bay, you can only take one of their cards if you're dealing damage.
Right.
So
you have to actually
you have to be damaging too.
That's a good point. Yes. So, and you also get just for the out of the goodness of their hearts, you get an extra set of die, and they're orange die. They're Halloween themed,
Very cool.
but these aren't used for any particular purpose. They're just a second set of die, so people on that side of the table could use the original black dice, and the other ones could use the orange die. And you notice the black, green, and orange are also very, very well Halloween themed, color coordinated. So yes. So that's
have a cohesive look.
Yes. So that's basically.
The idea behind those.
It works really well.
Yeah.
So.
And each one of these expansions, whether you play them together or separately, they do alter the playability of the original game. Now, one of the things I was going to mention about the Power Up expansion, it does. I don't know how to say this really. It does change the way people play the game, whether you consider it a benefit or a negative. You'll have to decide. What in the original game, either you gain up to 20 victory points to win if you're the first to do so, or if other people, you can inflict as much damage as possible to kill each other off. So a lot of times elimination is one of the easiest ways to, path to victory.
To win the game.
Exactly. Now, what I found is that if that's people's focus and they really like attacking, they're going to attack early on, as trying to eliminate as many people as they can early on. With these expansions, these evolutions, because you're getting them only when you roll 3 hearts or more, I found at the beginning of the game people were focused more on healing just to get the evolutions, and they weren't attacking as much. So I felt that it's only when getting these enhancements that you're super powered with some of your attacks or whatever the evolution might happen to have been, it actually delays the momentum of the attacks until much further towards the end of the game. So it was more protective at first, nurturing, and then vicious at the end. So it does lengthen the game, but changes the flow. And that's what I found was the biggest modifier for this particular version.
Yeah. So the positive of this is that each character now is more unique. They have unique evolutions that only apply to them, and if you like that particular character, you may want to try and play it more often, or try different characters and see what their different evolution powers are. So that's kind of neat. It's almost like it brings kind of a little bit of a role playing in there where you have your unique character. Now, the Halloween collection pack, as they call it, has the maybe minor disadvantage that it is Halloween themed. So if it's not Halloween, if it's Christmas, or if it's some other holiday, or if it's just some other time of the year, maybe you're not as keen to play a Halloween themed game.
It might feel out of place.
And the other thing that may feel out of place is within the Halloween theme, the costumes make total sense, but it doesn't work well with the game in general. So this is not really an expansion that you would necessarily play all the time with the original King of Tokyo game, because monsters wearing costumes, it takes the game away from its original theme. So so that's my opinion. What's your general feeling of the game?
I think I would agree with you in general that Halloween, it's really easy to get into around Halloween time, but other times of the year, maybe not so much. I do like, however, the idea of the costumes, you being able to steal them, because it encourages more attacking, not just for the points, not for the purpose of just damaging people, but the ability to grab their costume, because normally these other cards that you use for your enhancements, you either just always have them, or you discard them if you need to, but they pretty much stay with individual players. So this gives you a nice opportunity to kind of swap. So it's a little more interactive, so you're not just playing your solo game against everyone else. You can kind of keep the interaction going among.
And because these are in the same deck, you're competing for them as well, which I also like. Yeah.
But the thing is, though, I think if I had to choose between the two expansions, I think I would go with the Power Up expansion first. Just because I really like the uniqueness of the evolution cards. As Adam was saying earlier, you are creating more your unique character with them. So I do, and I really love some of these expansions as you read through them. I really like a lot of the enhancements that they give. So, and I think this one's more of a nice game, but it's kind of a nice addition, but not really a mandatory piece towards the main game. So that's pretty much what I would say. Yeah.
My opinion is a little bit different. I feel that this game, because it encourages the rolling of hearts, there's not as much attacking, and I really like the attacking part of the game, and I think when you move away from that in this game, then it becomes not as, I don't know, not as fun to play. For me, I think that's a big part of the game, is people trying to knock each other out. And when people focus on healing, then it makes it a longer game, more of a point scoring game. So in terms of game mechanics, at least, I think I like the way this changes the game better than the way this changes the game. Although I definitely see the cool parts of this expansion. I really personally like this one, and I also like the Halloween theme. I think they did a good job with that. So that's my opinion.
See that. Damages, like monsters. What do? They damage.
Yes.
So if you can't damage, what's the point? But I'm gonna get you in.
Yeah.
My different opinion.
Yes.
Telling it, but
can't always agree. So
that happens.
Well, that's our review for these. Giving me the evil eye now.
Exactly. But that's Meeple Talk for this week, and so I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Come check us out again.
See you later.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.